Hey guys, how are you? Many people write to me and ask me how to write a great title for their mobile app. And the title is different from, on Android, Google Play, and iOS, right, App Store. So let's talk about, there's some strategies, right? I'm going to cover a few strategies in this video. And, then you'll see what makes the most sense for you. So there are some constraints, right? So Android, Google Play allows you 30 characters only. The App Store allows you more characters. I don't know exactly what the limit is, but I've never run into the limit. It's a lot, but you don't want to use up the whole thing because it just looks ridiculous because it's a title. It doesn't have to be. It should be not so long. Now, what's really important about the title are two things. Number one, it's the first thing people read. They might see your logo first. They might see the app icon first. But the first thing they read is your title, app title. And so it must be super catchy and inviting and awesome. People must love it. But at the same time, search engines, and by search engines I mean the search engines of Google Play or the App Store. The keywords that you use in the title are the biggest sort of keywords that they think, they're like, oh, this app must be about those keywords. So you've got to get the best of both worlds in there, right? So if you want to take advantage of search, which you should want to, you should have keywords in there. And if you want to get people excited about your app, you should have sort of a great description in one, right? If you don't, so the first strategy, one that I've used with a lot of success, but it's not for everyone, is to go like 100% SEO. So if you look at my Android app, and by the way, my Android app, it's a business app, and it's been, for about a year, it was the #1 app for the search term business. I think today it's like #2, which is, still pretty close to #1. So I've gotten a lot of downloads. So altogether my apps, they have like over 500,000 downloads, so I've had a lot of success with the strategy. And it was like a crazy strategy because I didn't care about branding. Maybe that's a mistake, but I didn't care about it a lot, and I didn't really have a title. I guess my title is Problemio Apps, because my website is Problemio, and that's the brand name that you see most often, but you wouldn't know that by looking at the app title. The app title is something like plan, business, startup, right? It doesn't even make sense, right? But it has all the keywords I want, right? So it's a business planning app, so business plan, right, that's in there. And then, start a business, that's also my main keyword, that's in there. And then startup, that's in there, right? So all those kind of businessy, start a business types of terms, they're all within that title, right? So that's kind of, but the title is ridiculous. People ask me, what's your app called? And I don't even know how to tell them because I have to explain like blah, blah, blah. It's all like SEO title. But at the same time, it was wildly effective to get me downloads. Okay, it's ridiculous, but you get downloads. You decide. Here's the other approach. Okay. By the way, on iOS I have a different title, which is a little bit more sane. But anyway, another approach is a little bit more sane approach. Sometimes what people do is they have this format where it's like your brand name, colon, keyword, keyword, keyword. So for me it would be something like Problemio, right? So the title is in there, that the whole brand title of my apps, Problemio, which is not a keyword in itself. It's useless in terms of SEO, but it's sort of like a title. And then I could, fewer keywords, right? So business plan, business plan and start. That would be a good probably title that is branded and it makes English language sense. So the format is really simple. It's basically like your brand name, maybe colon, maybe hyphen, but brand name and then a few keywords. So it's like the best of both worlds. It's a branded app then, but also it has keywords in there that you want to rank for. Now, sometimes the way all search engines sort of work is if you try to rank for one keyword, all the strength of your search engine weight of your app will go towards that one keyword, right? If you try to rank for many keywords, like maybe like I try to do too many keywords, like business, plan, startup, whatever, too many, the strength of your app and search will get spread through all those keywords, but not as strong in each. Does that make sense? It won't be as strong in each one because there's more of them. So sometimes you want to maybe pick one great keyword that you want to go after and see if you can be number one for that keyword. But if it's too competitive, you might want to try to target some other keywords that are peripheral, and you might want to target like longer tail searches at times. So there are strategies there. It really depends on what niche you're in. So like if you're in photos or games or something that's like super, or social, like super competitive, then you want to be tricky and savvy with how you do the keywords for your app, and you want to see where there's like less competition in the app stores. Maybe try to get some keywords like that, and maybe it gets a little bit surgical at that point, which I won't get into because it's a very individual app sort of approach. Like I can't cover that in the video, but generally you guys see how this would work. You either go crazy SEO or you go sort of like branded and SEO. Sometimes apps just go just branded, just the title. For me it would be the Problemio apps, but I guarantee you if that was the case for me, I would get like no downloads at all, because it would just nobody would find it, right? Because it's like search is really the biggest driver of downloads for apps, and you really got to take the most advantage of it. So my recommendation is the second approach, the branded, for most people, because maybe I'm a little bit too into search, but so for most people what seems to work is the brand, colon, keyword, see how that goes, and then change it accordingly to where you rank and what you want to be, what keywords you think you might have a chance for as you move forward with your app and how it grows in search. So if you found this video helpful, please check out my full book on how to create a mobile app business. It's a really good book. I cover really how to make it a business, like how to plan a mobile app, how to get it developed. I don't explain how to code the app, but I talk about should you hire a developer, should you do it on your own, is it easy to build on your own, is it easy to learn to code, and then I really get into how to make money from apps, how to promote apps, so you really get the full spectrum. And especially you should especially get this if you are just starting out on apps or you're thinking about getting into apps, because this will really open your eyes to what the app world is really like without actually having to get into it, right? So you'll actually know what you're getting into before you're getting into it, which is a very good thing. So anyway, please check out the book, and I'll have the link to it in the description of the video or on my site problemio.com.